Hello, welcome. I'm Dale. This is Shine Pilates, and this week is week 1 of my Out of the Box series. We'll play on words because we are going to be using the Pilates sitting box for a few of our exercises today. Now, don't worry, if you don't have a sitting box, all of these things that you can do on the box, you'll be able to do on the mat with a little bit of variation for some exercises. I want to use the box today because it gives us a little bit of a lift and a little more focus in our positions, a little bit of heightened awareness, and a little bit of fear factor, and changing it up to get off of the mat. So let's get started. You ready? I think he's going to be lazy today. All right, we're going to start. Now he's ready. We're going to start on hands and knees. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips as always. A little active reach through the toes because they're not going to be on anything. I want you to round your back, dropping your head, dropping your tail. Take an exhale and then arch your back. Lift your head, lift your tail. Take an inhale. At first, going back and forth through flexion, through extension, waking up your spine in both directions, starting to wake up your breath as you move your spine. Start to notice the muscles at the front and the back of the body and how they elongate and how they contract as you move your spine. Let's do one more in each direction. And now, starting from your tail, can you create a wave through your spine? So you tip your tail, narrow your sitting bones, round through your spine. Your head is the last to drop. And then you're gonna reach that tail up towards the sky, widen your sitting bones, and arch. Your head is the last to lift. Let's do that again. Tuck your tail, narrow your sitting bones, draw your belly up and in, drop your head last. One more wave, starting from the pelvis. And now we're going to switch directions. So initiating from the skull, nod your chin to your chest, let your neck lengthen, round through your upper, middle, low back, tail drops last. Lift your head, arch, bone by bone, creating that wave. Tail lifts, sitting bone widen. Now you're going to come to a neutral position, and I want you to take your ribs on a circle. So the base ribs, we're going to reach up to the top of that circle, kind of like we were doing with that cat-cow. Now you're going to bring your base ribs on the left side body over to the left. Drop your base ribs to the front, kind of like that cat-cow, and then over to the right. Making a nice circle, taking the ribs through a range of motion that feels nice for you. Let's do one more circle in this direction. Notice which parts of the circle maybe are a little harder to hit and which parts of the circle are easier. We've switched directions. We're going to do 3 in this direction. There's 1. Let your shoulders and hips go with the flow as you take your ribs on this last circle. Noticing the muscles as they contract and lengthen to move your spine in all directions. Now come back to your neutral spine. Take a couple breaths to get your core connected, your powerhouse ready. Now we've got a table here with 4 legs, our 2 arms and our 2 legs. Nothing tips, nothing leans. As I take one table leg, reach it out. That arm comes back to center. Reach the other arm out. Back to center. Alternating arms. I'm not tipping, I'm not leaning. Use this opportunity just with the arms to center yourself. Now come back to center. We're going to do one leg. Reach and return. Notice if you're on a box like I am, it's a little bit more challenging. I've got a smaller surface area to play with. If you're on your mat, we've done this before. Let's do one more leg each side. Now we're going to go into an opposite arm leg reach. So let's do left arm, right leg. Ooh, that's where it gets a little bit scary. Being on the box. Notice how I'm shaking a little bit. Stay nice and centered. I don't get my feet to push into the floor. I don't get that opportunity. One more each side. Last one. And then we're gonna rest all the way down. I'm gonna move my box just a little bit so I have a little bit of space at the top of the mat. I'm gonna come and lay on my box. My base ribs just a little bit off of the box, hands on the mat. Now I get to lengthen over the box in a little bit of flexion. Push into the floor, lift your head. Can you create that wave through the spine that we were doing on our hands and knees? Round and forward. Actively reaching your legs in the opposite direction. Inhale as you come up. Exhale as you lower down. So the first few, you get to use your arms as much as you need to. Once you get the rhythm, once you get the exercise, imagine you have bubble wrap underneath your hands. And you don't want to pop any of those bubbles as you lift into your back bend. And here you might find you don't get as high. That's okay. You're waking up and using those back muscles, or posture muscles that hold us up all day long. Let's do two more. Last one. And rest all the way down. You can bend your knees, let your back relax. Now you may have noticed my two weights here. These are optional weights for some exercises that we're gonna do. We're gonna do arm rockets next. So if you have weights, grab your weights. If you don't have weights, you can do this exercise without weights. You're gonna bring your arms by your hips. Open the front of your chest, widen your collarbones, find a little squeeze between the shoulder blades. Reach long through your head, and in the opposite direction your toes. You're gonna do little pulses here. And the pulse initiates from the shoulder blades coming together. The arm, the elbow, the wrist, the weights follow along, initiating from the shoulder blade. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take a rest. Bend your knees. Now we're going to add on legs long. Zip up through your front. Core is connected. Legs are long. You're going to push up, lift your head, lift your chest. Can you keep that back bend? Bring your arms by your hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Open the front of the chest. Reach the arms long. Add those little pulses. Pulse, pulse. Don't let the head and chest get any lower as you pulse. Could it get higher? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest all the way down. One more add-on. All right. Zip up in the front, come into your back bend, lift your head, lift your chest, get your legs, reach long. And lift your legs, make a rocker shape with the whole body. Open the collarbones, have the weights by your hips, little pulses here. Long through the fingers, long through the toes, long through the crown of the head. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. I'm gonna take a quick little child's pose. Send your hips back to your heels. Take a little rest, a little stretch, and come out of that. One more slide of the box down a little farther. And we're gonna set your pelvis on the edge of the box. So a little higher up the box. Hands are gonna stay on the ground, starting underneath your shoulders. So we're gonna come down, fold forward, round forward, lift up into your back bend. Legs are reaching long and they're turned out. So heels are closer towards your midline, toes are reaching away, but there's a little distance between your heels. As you lower down, could you lift your legs up? Pivoting from your pelvis. That bubble wrap is still there. Maybe you've popped some bubbles. The next time you come down, hold, reach the legs long, you're gonna bend and cross. Opposite ankle, every time. Bend and cross. Could the legs get a little longer? Could the legs get a little higher lifted? Woo. 4, 3, 2, last one. Reach the legs long, push up, inhale, and exhale, fold forward. Round forward, bend your knees, shake your hips, side to side. Woo! All right, weights off to the side for a moment. Box is gonna come back to the center. Now we're gonna flip onto your back on the box. All right. Head gets to rest on the box, so wherever. So you're slid down the box a little bit. So your shoulders, head, and sacrum all land on the box. Find that same connection that we found in our hands and knees and our opposite leg arm reach. Arms are reached long overhead. You're gonna lift your opposite arm, opposite leg. Kind of like how we started. So one side is still, one side is moving. Now you could keep your head down, or if you want to add on, you nod your chin towards your chest, curl up into a little abdominal curl, and stay there. Could your shoulder blades be light away from the mat? 4, 3, 2, 1, and take a rest. All right, same thing, adding on weights. All right, fun, right? All right, let's start with the head down. Weights long. Ribs are together. Opposite pair, lift and lower. Lift and lower. You could keep your head down or come up into that little abdominal curl. Let's go 4, 3, 2, last one, and come down. Take a little rest. Ooh, all right. A little warm up. Abs glowing a little bit. All right. Arms come up towards the ceiling. Legs come up to tabletop. Still opposite arm, opposite leg, but now we're reaching away. Instead of lifting, we're lowering. I have my head down to start. We can add on with a little curl. Sink your belly down. Keep your pelvis anchored. Base ribs anchored. 4, 3, 2, last one, and take a rest. Last one more exercise here, adding on. So I've added on a little bit of difficulty. Last one, we're gonna come up into our curl, arms straight up, legs straight up. Opposite pair, reach and return. Reach and return. You got it. So there's a still pair and there's a moving pair. Try not to muddy the waters. Curl up a little extra for the last 4. 3. I don't know if you're warm, but I'm warm. Woo. Last 1. And center. You can drop the weights. Let your head go back. Pull your knees into your chest. Take a chest opening stretch here. Woo. Very nice. All right, grab behind your knees, help yourself up. Set the weights off to the side. We'll come back to those. I'm gonna turn my box a quarter turn and set my box down on the foot of the mat. All right, now you're gonna lay down on your back and bring your feet onto the box, all right? Now you might decide, depending on the length of your legs and the length of your torso, to be a little closer or a little farther away. Find the angles that work for you. Press your feet into the box. We're gonna do an articulated bridge first. So we're gonna tuck that tail, reach it up towards the sky, articulate bone by bone, come up into a bridge, take an inhale. As you exhale, soften through the chest, soften through the ribs, and spread the spine down, bone by bone. Let's do that again. 2 more, articulated. Think about that stretch through the low back, and enjoy that stretch. Waking up the hamstrings and buns a little bit. Come up, and come down. Bone by bone. Can you create a little space between each bone, especially in that low back? Now, rocking your pelvis to neutral, honoring the natural curves of your spine. Press into your feet, lift your hips, and lower your hips. Can your spine be nice and long? As we did those articulated bridges, you had that nice stretch through your low back. Little zip in the front to help support. Now we're gonna lift up, keep the hips lifted. Arms can be at your side, or I can lift my arms up, palms facing each other. We're gonna do little pulses, little pulses. Inch down, inch up. Can it be even through the right and left side? If I had a carpenter's level across my hips, the bubble would be right in the center. My hips are level. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're gonna go into a march. Hips stay lifted, lift one leg and lower it down. You can stay with a bent knee, march, or we could go to a straight leg, march. Woo! Remember that carpenter's level. Bubbles don't move as we go from side to side. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Set that foot down, set your hips down, take a little rest. Whew. 1 more set. We're gonna do some pulses. Come up into your bridge, arms by your side or up towards the ceiling. Get really strong into your left leg. Lift the right leg, lower the hips an inch. Lift the hips. Inch up, inch down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the hips lifted. Right foot comes down. Get strong into that side. Lift the left, lower and lift. Woo. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set that foot down. Come down. Let's take a little twist. So bring your knees to one side. Take a breath into your low back. Woo. Come through center, twist to the other side. Nice. Come back to center and help yourself up. All right, now we're gonna do some arm and standing work. We're gonna do like a little couplet. All right. All right, so you're gonna come onto the box on your elbow. And again, if you don't have the box, you could come down onto the mat or you could be up on your hand. Your bottom knee is gonna be down on the mat to start. Your top leg long. Active shoulder, waistline lifting. Now we're gonna lower the hips an inch and lift. Feel that toning through that bottom waistline to lift your hips. Lower and lift. 3, 2, 1. And we're gonna switch sides right into the other side. So bottom knee is down, top leg is long, on your elbow, lower and lift. This is small. I bet you can see where we're gonna go with this. Push the box away with that strong shoulder. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come center, move the box up to standing, all right? Now, one foot on the box, heel is on the box. You're gonna push into that heel. We're gonna come into a balance. Come center, control yourself down. Stand and balance. Yep. Now, if you don't have a box, you could do just a balance and lift the leg. I could even bend and straighten my standing leg a little to mimic being on the box. Now we're gonna hold here, standing strong for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come onto the box, cross. We're gonna go right to the other side. We're gonna come down, stand up, and balance, and center. Resist gravity on the way down. Try to keep your entire foot on the box or on the floor. If you're bending and straightening, if you're balancing on the floor, your heel stays connected through the whole sole of the foot to the toes. You got it. Ooh, that standing leg's starting to work. 4 more. And 3. Last 2. Here comes Whippica. Last 1. Woo. Now hold your balance for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way down. Move your box. All right. Now, so we did little hip lifts with our side plank. All right. Now for this one, we're gonna go back and forth, starting in a front plank on your elbows. Widen your feet for a more stable base, or you can keep your feet a little narrower for a less stable base. You're gonna stand one elbow into the center, come into your side plank. Lower, lift. Come back to center. Nice transition to the other side. Lower, lift. Push the box away. Take your time through your transitions. Yep, you got it. Lower, lift. Let's do 1 more each side. And then we're gonna go back to that balance. Lower and lift. Woo. Last one. Lower, lift. Come center. Set your knees down. All right, so I'm gonna have a little space on either side of the box. All right, standing on the box, little add-on. All right, come into your balance. We're gonna lift and lower, back down. All right, so that lifted leg lifts a little higher, controls the way down, and then we come down to the floor. Standing strong, lift, lower, Come down, one more like this. And then I got another add-on, my hardest add-on yet. We're just gonna do 4 of these. So we're gonna come up into our balance. Same arm as leg, reaches long. Bend the knee to the elbow, elbow to knee, and reach. Just stay here. Bend and reach. 2 more. If you're on the box, woo, extra balance. Challenge, last one. Bend and reach. Come center, cross across. Woo. Lower down, find the balance. Lift, lower. Just 4 of these. 3. You've got it. 2. Got some nice stretching for you coming up. You can make it. All right, now down and up. Reach the top arm. Elbow to knee, knee to elbow, and reach. You got it. Elbow to knee, knee to elbow, and reach. Last 2. I find this to be the hardest one. Last one. And control yourself down. Woo. Oh. Turn the box. We're going to use the box for a seated figure 4. Now this gives you a lot of range to play in for the hip that we're about to be stretching. So extend one leg long and cross the opposite ankle over that knee. Now you might find a lovely stretch here. If you do, great, stay there with your spine nice and tall. If you want more, we can intensify this stretch by bending the bottom leg. Keeping your spine tall. Try not to round your back. If you round your back, we actually come out of that stretch through the hip a little bit. So you want to keep your spine nice and tall. You might even be able to hinge forward. Take a couple breaths. You did it. Give yourself a pat on the back. Let's take 2 more breaths on this side. Nice. And then slowly ease out of that. So the leg that we just stretched is long. Cross that opposite ankle. You might decide to stay here, or you might decide a different bend angle is fine for you because our hips are different. You might feel a different line of stretch. So come to that level that works for you on this second side. Really working to keep the spine nice and tall. Folding forward. You might find as you come into the stretch after you take a few breaths, you can add on a little bit. You don't have to jump into the deep end. You can find a stretch, take a couple breaths, go, I want a little bit more. You add a little bit more, take a couple breaths, maybe you add a little bit more. Listen to your body as you go through stretches. None of these stretches should be painful. Take 2 more breaths on this side. Last one. And then ease out of that. Now we're going to go into a series of neck stretches. So we're going to have one arm down by your side. Lift your spine up. The crown of the head reaches towards the ceiling. Your ear comes to the shoulder. Opposite side away from that reaching arm. Nice and tall through your spine. Let your head be heavy, your jaw is relaxed. And then you're going to turn your head, tuck your nose towards your shoulder. And then draw your chin to your chest, let your head hang heavy. You can set both hands in your lap. Take a breath. On your next inhale, stack your spine up. Nice and tall. Opposite hand comes to the side, and it's actively reaching as you drop your ear to the opposite shoulder. Again, all of these stretches, you're not forcing a range of motion. You're not going to a place of pain. Choose the spot that works for you today. Turn your head, tuck your nose toward your shoulder. And allow your chin to fall to your chest. Let it hang heavy for a moment. On your next inhale, re-stack your spine. Up nice and tall. You are done. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you like this video. Please share with friends, share with family, give a like. I'd really appreciate it. Have a great one. Bye.